Hello everyone and welcome to Greyhammer. Today we're building our Indian hoofstock building, of which we don't have too many options of what we could add, but we're going to start with our Asian elephant. Technically, hoofstock is a misleading term for them, but you know, they have hoof-like. They might still be considered hooves, they're little toe pads, but we're just kind of creating the rock wall here. So something about Planet Zoo videos out in the future is I'm toying with the idea of doing them every other week with Minecraft videos every other week because I'm really excited about playing with the new Fossils and Archaeology mod. So let me know what y'all think about that. But here I am just kind of texturing the rock. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about that because I'm not sure about it, but it would give me better opportunities to edit and build in Planet Zoo. So, I don't know. Here I am, I'm going to start building the base of the paddock. And I really like how this turns out. So we just kind of put the plaster there. On second, looking back on it, I probably would have put the plaster bits probably would have sunken it into the stone, because as it is now, it just creates a few problems. But I think that I really like how this wall ends up turning. I'm not sure if I like this green color still, but I think I like it. It's just a darker version of our regular plaster, which was already kind of a light green slash light green slash off-white color. Here I am just kind of using our same stone walls for our Asian section colors. So now we could just kind of start putting in this paddock area. And so the backstage for this is not complete exactly. I think I'm going to complete it maybe when the episode for our third part of this. Yeah, we're just creating for the Indian elephants, but there are two other species, the Indian rhinoceros and the wild water buffalo. The wild water buffalo should be pretty simple to build for, so I think I might actually, I might just use their time to create some backstage areas. This was me kind of trying to figure out, I wanted the wall to be taller, so I was trying to figure out exactly how I wanted to do that. And this was me being like, does not seem as pale as it was. And then just kind of creating this different wood textures on there. Yeah, we're kind of basing it off of actual archaeology, or not archaeology, architecture. Ugh. Fossils and Archaeology mod is on my mind. And we kind of just create a template, and so we're going to just fill that in here, and this will allow us to build on the grid and get everything all nice and even, which is pretty nice. A tool I learned from Atom Up, and is definitely worth it. So here's just a little cut, because I figured you didn't want to see me build the whole thing, at least not at the expense of this being a 40-minute video. And here I was trying to create kind of a raised section here. You'll see how it looks in the end. Little bits of zoo management going in. And then here, putting a column here to cover up that corner, and just kind of blending that in. Just kind of making that work over here as well, because, you know, I want to make it somewhat symmetrical. There's little tiny bits of zoo management in here. I tried to cut out the breaks, but here we are. We're going to create a hydraulic gate. And I'm kind of just creating a palette over here of pieces I'm going to use or maybe use. I had a really cool idea for this. And this section might be a little long because it takes me a little while to try and find this bracket piece, which ends up being in that regular Planet Zoo. But I thought that it was in... I thought it was a DLC. But good job on them for having an actual good piece in the regular Planet Zoo. So this is just me recoloring it, and we'll see me building it in just a second. Go ahead and subscribe if you like this kind of content, and go ahead and like this video, please. It really helps. We should get to 250 subscribers by the end of February, but things are slowing down right now. I'm not exactly sure why, but I'll take what it is. It is slower than it has been. But yeah, kind of creating this elephant gate. It should be reusable now, so that I can use it in different areas of the park for large hoof stock. Probably wouldn't work for giraffes, but I could use it for rhino species, for maybe African elephants. I'm not sure if this will be big enough for the African elephants. I was very pleasantly surprised by the Indian elephants, their size requirements, though it probably should be taller, but it was very nice not to have to build a massive enclosure for them. But yeah, this area is getting pretty some good appeal to the animals in it now. Even though people prefer to see orangutans rather than the elephant, which is kind of surprising to me. But I guess people like orangutans, at least in the game. I wonder if they did like a poll to see what people's favorites were. That would be the only reason I could think orangutan would be so high. But I talked about this in my last one. Here I am kind of creating a hydraulic system. So we're going to use a piston to push the door, and then we're going to have a hydraulic cable to provide that water for that. And then just kind of trying to line those all up, and just kind of shrinking that hole a little bit. And yeah, it looks pretty good towards the end. I was trying to make the piston look a little bit more realistic, but I figure it works. And then here's that hydraulic cable. We'll have to use our imagination a little bit and pretend like the garden hose isn't a part of it. Here I was kind of trying to want to use that for like a power supply, but I was realizing you're going to see it on the inside, and actually the inside of this is somewhat important because I'm trying to get better at doing interiors. Really trying, maybe failing. But here we are, just kind of creating a little roofed area for our facilities. I'm trying to remember if I ever did do anything to separate it from the main area. I don't think I did. Huh. I probably should. Maybe we'll do that once. We'll do that once we finish the entirety of the interior. Here I am just kind of blocking out the elephant paddocks so that they can be separated, is the idea. So that's going to be the elephant backstage area. And I wanted to use kind of these metal poles that zoos frequently use to kind of keep the elephants out of these different, like, it's just too wide, narrow for the elephants to get to. But these poles looked a little fragile, so I wasn't up for them. I thought about doing this concrete one, and I was going to, but then I realized I really wanted to use these New World pieces because they looked really convincing to me. They look like they're like reinforced metal pieces with like some concrete on the top or something like that. So I was really feeling that. Here I am just kind of connecting the habitat up for the elephants. It's a good time. And then just kind of, we'll be painting the terrain here soon to get rid of that long grass, but I really like the interior. And this enclosure is pretty simple, but it kind of needs to be for just elephants. Their traversable area is not great. Here I am about to start creating the roof, which I need to get a path on first. We will have a monorail station up here. You will see that in the cinematics, but the creation of that will be on my next video, which, again, might be happening in the week. Not next week, but the week after that. Depends on how well I do in the Minecraft video, or stream, how much I can get done. So how popular the live stream ends up being, if y'all let me know that you like this kind of idea of doing Minecraft and so dinosaurs and actual animals every other week, that would be kind of how we would justify that. So here I am just kind of creating the separation between the elephants and the rhinoceroses, because they should not mix. I think they can mix in Planet Zoo, but a male elephant in I'm trying to remember, it's not heat. It's called something else with elephants. But and it's not rut. It's completely something else. But I had an idea for this enclosure, and we're gonna start using. Unfortunately, they cannot use this pool inside. I don't know why. If anyone can let me know in the comments, I'd love to adjust it so that they can. We do have to do a lot of adjusting to make sure that the elephants can use everything. But I decided to... I thought that they were just going to spin the thing at the top, and that was how they were going to... get the food out of it. Turns out they actually push it, so it looks a little wonky, but not too bad. Acceptable losses in the, for making the enrichment look a little bit better. Here I am just kind of creating this arch. I had a picture of like a waterfall in the background for Indian elephant habitat, and then I was like, well, let's make it actual part of the enrichment. It might look a little bit out of place, but I think it's gonna look pretty good. I can't really add too many more rocks because the elephants do not get along with the little faux rock piles. It's really unfortunate. I really wish they could go through them, because they're such a small thing that an elephant should be able to step over. Also, I've not seen them being able to use this beaver pool, but I felt like it looked cool in the background, and especially once I blended it in with all these rocks, I feel like it worked pretty well. So just doing some kind of terrain painting. Of course, we'll do more once the elephants are in, which I don't think you'll see in this, but you will see some cinematic shots of the elephants, which again, I think I'm getting better at these cinematic shots, so you've got some towards the end. And this elephant enclosure, while looking small, is actually big enough that you could probably fit one other elephant in it. That's what I was talking about with the Indian elephants, and we'll have to remove all these stones that I'm placing down here so that the elephants can use the walkway. The idea for this elephant enclosure also is a kind of grassland savanna of India section, which I think will be cool. Then we'll move into like the temperate forest with the Indian rhinoceros, and then we'll move into the like a tropical mangrove forest with the water buffalo. Here we are doing a little bit more in animal management than I should show on camera, but here we are creating sort of the roof here. So I was going to work on the pathing, but I ended up just working on the roof here. So kind of create this piece. The game really hated me for a little bit there. Don't know why. I really... The game is great until the building pieces decide that they want to go on a different angle than you were wanting to put them at. Like, they don't go flush to your actual exhibit or actual building pieces. So here I am kind of creating the pathing here. Also, one other thing, I haven't really mentioned this yet, is there will also be an Indian peafowl aviary at the back side of this building. We'll probably create that. I don't know. We'll either be creating that in the wild water buffalo exhibit, or we will be creating a whole new video. So this could be 4 videos. The Indian rhinoceros, we might do the backstage area kind of template for, and then do the peafowl aviary with the rhinoceroses. We'll see. Here I am just kind of we've got our elephants kind of picked out, and here is where the complication comes. So I created this off of reference images, so I wanted to get this kind of curve in here. Do I think that the curve works? Yes. Is it the prettiest curve in the world? No. It's not as smooth as it may have could have been, but I do smooth it out quite a bit. Sorry for all these weird camera angles. We're also getting some animal names from viewers. So if you would like to, you can always watch my live streams to see me building this stuff in real time. We have a lot of fun. Here I was trying to block the gap, but I end up leaning into it a little bit. You'll see how and why. But yeah, our live streams are always fun. Today that I'm recording this, which is Wednesday, I usually record these voiceovers on Friday, so it's kind of weird to... But, we definitely get some nice... we'll be playing some Smite. So if you've watched that, then thanks for watching this as well. Appreciate everyone who's watching the content. I will not be streaming this weekend because I'll be out of town for my brother has running a charity live concert, so that's pretty cool for the wildfires in California. And yeah, so here I am just kind of building this ramp. It's not wheelchair accessible, so we do actually build a wheelchair accessible lift, which is pretty cool. I really enjoyed building it. And so here we are trying to kind of bring this to cover up those barriers, and then we want to do some patterning as well. And just kind of bring everything in line to make it look like it should. This ramp here I'm pretty proud of. It's some of the stuff on the top probably needs some work. I just got frustrated with it. So maybe I'll do that when we have a little bit more time to work on it. Here I was just trying to figure out exactly how I wanted to do the patterning for this, because I don't know if you've noticed, but these are not easy to do. With these weird slopes and everything, but we're working on it, and we're about a little over halfway done with the video, so just kind of bringing these along. And unfortunately, it's just none of the stuff lines up the way that I want it to. I do pretty good there because I use single pieces, but once you start dragging with double pieces, it takes it goes super weird, and I think it's because I believe it's because they take like the center of mass or something like that. It does something funky. But that's kind of just how it ends up being. And then just kind of bringing this pattern along. And this is relatively simple. I think I was explaining what I was building to someone on stream. And yeah, then we start building up these lines. That's going to just kind of give it a pattern. We're not doing any pattern on the other side because we're going to have our wheelchair ramp. I think this is where I start creating the other side. So I deselect all that. And I accidentally selected some stuff here, so we got to deselect all that as well. And yeah, just bring it to the other side. And then we're going to start working on our wheelchair ramp. So first we got to do our kind of track for it to come along. And then we're kind of creating this little exit area. And I end up using duct to do like the motor housing. Don't know exactly how accurate this all will look. I think it's pretty good. It's at least good enough for me to finish it. Feel like I did a good job with it. So here we are, just kind of creating a platform for them to put their wheelchair up. And then I'm just kind of drawing off of some reference images, so some things to keep you from rolling off the side. Back side is maybe a little dangerous, but then I wanted to create something where a little piece that I could use as a like flap to that it like when it's in movement it rolls up. I probably should have added one of those to the other side as well. And here I am just kind of creating the power compartment. I'm just kind of trying to use these reference images that I've got. I don't know how well it looks in the end, but let me know in the comments if you feel like it works. We're definitely excited about I'm definitely excited about what it looks like. I think it looks pretty good. And so then here we have this where it can sink into that track. And my goodness, this is a pain to line up. Probably shouldn't have shown all the lining up work on it, but this was me just trying desperately to figure out how to get a wheelchair ramp to slide on and look convincing. Because I needed it also to be on the ground, or at least close to the ground. And then I guess you could use that little ramp thing to make it so that you could roll up onto it. But end up making it work. I'm pretty happy with it. Then this pathing ends up not working for me, so I start working on the pathing again, just lining it up with these spots. And of course everything wanted to connect. It's just a pain. Pathing system in Planet Zoo is not ideal. And then I was like, well, I want them to get close to the elephants too. So definitely just trying to figure out different things there to get the guest to be able to see the elephants. And then here I was trying to line this up again. I thought I was finished lining it up, but I guess I just took a break because I was getting frustrated. And so here we are, we're hovering up over the ground, and I'm like, well, you gotta do something better than that. So we lower it down to the ground, and then we're like, we'll line it up from the ground. And I think this is what I went with, yeah, because I added this backing so that it could actually attach there. Kind of just hides things, but you know, it works. Don't tell me it doesn't. And here I am just kind of creating like a concrete like walk to the side. It won't actually be usable by guests, but I didn't want to make it look like the regular path that will be in here that we haven't finished yet, but because the path that we're going to be using is going to be a stone bottom, so we just don't want wheelchairs to have to deal with that when they're getting onto the ramp. They may have to deal with it normally, but they'll probably have people, they might have someone helping them along. Here I am kind of creating a standoff fence. My dad told me the term for what this is when the top rail is angled, but I don't remember it now. But thanks, Dad. My dad is an architect, and in fact, he might be not necessarily designing a building, but rendering a building for me. I already kind of designed it, but my dad will design it further. Here we are kind of creating the netting section here. I think this standoff fence looks great, and it's going to be one that we use quite a bit in our zoo, and just kind of trying to line it up, and then just use the grid pieces. It's amazing. But here I have to design, or I have to separate it from the group, which is fine because I get this really, really nice join right there. It's seamless, and I love it. So I finished this standoff fence area over here, just kind of trying to make this area a little safer. just a little bit. And so now we're going to, there's me showing off how seamless the joint was on stream. We're gonna just kind of make a railing here. Or not really a railing, but sort of a railing. And then just have that. It's really, the kind of curve there is giving me bowling alley vibes. I don't know why. Well, I do. It's because of the little like drink containers that always had that kind of wavy color pattern on it. But here I am just kind of creating this railing sort of thing. It doesn't work out great for me, but it works. So you'll see in the cinematics. It's just probably not lined up 100% perfectly, which bugs me, of course. A bit of a perfectionist. By a bit, I mean a real big perfectionist. But sometimes it just has to be what it is. Here I am just kind of trying to cover the taffing railing because the railing looks so gross. But this works out pretty well, and then I start kind of creating our guest viewing, things of that nature, which all goes into, and kind of coloring everything correctly because it was not before, which is unfortunate. But I think I mentioned this last video, but we're kind of having the idea of like a mahogany stain, and it can either be actual mahogany or imitation mahogany, but the idea is that the idea being that we have kind of signs on sustainable farming, forestry. So sustainable mahogany, or it's just pine with a mahogany stain. So it could maybe have a display where it's like, this is real mahogany, this is pine or oak or whatever with a mahogany stain. There's no difference. I don't know. There probably is a difference. I haven't used any stains in a while, and not mahogany. I'm being a little bit presumptuous on myself because I do have a mahogany mandolin, so but here we go, kind of creating a vending machine area again, kind of creating that group, bringing it along. It's I really like it, I really do. So we kind of create this vending machine, so guests will be pretty happy in here. This was when I was going to create the backstage area back here, but I think I'm going to do it a little separately, and we'll see how that goes. I think it will work pretty well, but we'll see. Once we get to the Indian rhinoceros habitat, hopefully. So I didn't do too much backstage, but I had a plant palette that I wanted to work with. So here we are with that. We're getting towards the end of the video, so we're just kind of putting some reeds here to hide up some of this rock formations, just make it look a little bit more realistic. And then the dren grass, which is where I go crazy. I mean, I haven't been able to use dren grass in this park because animals haven't been able to use it because it's franchise mode, but I've heard great things about it from all the creators I follow, so here we go. So we just kind of create a group so we can sink it down into the earth, and then we're just going to go crazy with all the dren grass. They are elephants, so they will graze quite a bit, but I still wanted to add quite a bit of foliage, because I figured with enough feeding, maybe they wouldn't graze as much. So I just kind of create the paths for them to walk through, not necessarily a ton of grass in areas where they might generally walk through frequently. So that's kind of my idea. So just kind of creating these grass areas It's not much, but it works pretty well. And then I wanted to use these Zen paths. Leaf, great content creator, was able to get these out of the Planet Zoo code and put them on the workshop, so you can go ahead and follow him. He's a great YouTuber, really great for the modding community, which is pretty cool. So I kind of just use this to create kind of a gravel bed, like maybe this is where it runs off during the rains, and so it kind of comes through this dry creek bed. And here I am just kind of explaining what the big plans are for the zoo, which if you don't know, you should follow my live streams, because we kind of talk about that a little bit more in those. We're getting very close to the end here, just kind of putting the last bits of foliage in, and then we'll have the cinematics. If you do like this content, please go ahead and hit the like bell and subscribe if you really want to see more of this kind of content. We'll be patching up this area, making it look all nice and cohesive in the future. But that's going to be it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.